OpenAI just filed to go public, and buried inside the document most people will never open is a clause that changes who this deal actually works for. I know that sounds like a headline, so let me earn it. Right now, a team of attorneys is reviewing a conversion document written months before any ticker symbol appeared on any exchange. The way it's structured means that by the time you see OpenAI shares available to buy, a set of decisions will already have been made that you had no vote on and no visibility into. The excitement in every headline today is real. The risk being ignored is also real, and it lives in a filing. Before I go any further, let me be clear about what this is and what it isn't. This is not a video about OpenAI being a bad company. ChatGPT crossed 100 million users faster than any consumer application in history. The enterprise business is growing at a rate that would be remarkable for a company a tenth of its size. The underlying technology has a genuine argument for being transformational. So if you came here for someone to tell you the product doesn't work, that's not this. This is about the difference between a great company and a deal structured to benefit everyone except the person buying in on the first available day. Those are not the same thing. And the gap between them is exactly where ordinary investors lose money on deals like this one. What I'm going to show you lives in public documents, the S1 filing OpenAI submitted to the SEC, anyone can read it. Almost none of the coverage you've seen today has touched it. Start with one number, because it anchors everything. OpenAI's most recent private funding round valued the company at approximately $300 billion, against annualized revenue of roughly $12 billion. That's about 25 times sales for a company currently spending more on compute and infrastructure than it collects in revenue. That multiple already assumes the future has arrived. Every dollar you pay above that private valuation is a bet that the future arrives faster than the people who funded the last round believed it would. Now here's the mechanism most coverage isn't explaining. OpenAI was not born as a for-profit company. It was founded in 2015 as a nonprofit. In 2019, it created a capped profit subsidiary, a for-profit entity with investor returns, legally capped at 100 times their initial investment. That structure was unusual. It was also temporary, and the conversion away from it is the event that makes this IPO possible, and the thing that carries the most structural weight for anyone considering buying shares. To convert fully to a standard for-profit corporation, OpenAI needs three things to happen first. It needs approval from the California Attorney General, it needs approval from the Delaware Attorney General, and it needs resolution of the lawsuit filed by Elon Musk, who argues in federal court that the conversion violates the charitable mission OpenAI was founded to serve. No trial date has been set. The regulatory reviews have no published deadlines. Analysts are estimating somewhere between 90 and 180 days from the filing date, but that estimate carries real uncertainty. What this means in plain language: you cannot buy OpenAI shares until a legal and regulatory process completes, on a timeline the company does not control. The bankers can price the deal. The lawyers can file the documents. The date shares become available to you sits inside a government approval process with no fixed end date. That is the first hidden variable. The second one is Sam Altman's equity. When OpenAI restructures, Altman is expected to receive approximately 7% of the new for-profit entity. At a $300 billion valuation, that is roughly $21 billion in shares. That number is not unusual for a founder. What is unusual is that Altman held no equity in OpenAI for the first several years of its existence by design, because it was a non-profit. The equity grant is being structured now, in connection with the conversion, which means the size of it, the vesting terms, and the lockup conditions are all being finalized in the same window that determines when you can buy shares and at what price. You are buying into a company where the founder's compensation package is still being negotiated at the same time the deal is being priced. The third mechanism is Microsoft. Microsoft invested approximately $13 billion in OpenAI across multiple rounds. In exchange, it holds preferred shares with revenue-sharing agreements and contractual rights that were designed for a capped profit structure, not a standard public company. Renegotiating those rights for a conventional IPO is not a formality. It's a live negotiation between two of the largest entities in technology, with outcomes that directly affect how much of OpenAI's future revenue flows to shareholders versus to contractual obligations. The retail buyer sees the ticker. The preferred holder sees the contract.
Now let me show you the calendar. Picture dates on a wall. Today is day 0. No shares are publicly available. The California review must clear no deadline. The Delaware review must clear no deadline. The Musk litigation must resolve no trial date set. Only then does the conversion complete. Only then does IPO pricing happen. And only then does the 180-day insider lockup clock start. That means the people who know this company best, employees who accepted below-market salaries for years in exchange for equity, venture investors whose fund timelines are mature don't get their first exit window until at least 180 days after the conversion clears. The conversion hasn't cleared yet. Every one of those clocks is still waiting on a regulatory calendar that has no published end date. The historical pattern is consistent. Highly anticipated tech IPOs that carry elevated structural complexity tend to price at the peak of their media cycle, not at the beginning of their financial story. Facebook priced at $38 in May 2012 and traded below that price for more than a year. Snap priced at $17 in March 2017 and has never recovered it. Uber hit its all-time low on the day its lockup expired. None of those were bad companies on day one. They were companies where the deal was structured for the sellers. OpenAI's structural complexity is higher than any of those three. The number of unresolved variables before the IPO even happens is higher than any of those three. There's one more data point worth anchoring to. Every one of the deals I just mentioned had something in common with OpenAI, a narrative so dominant in the media cycle that the structural questions felt irrelevant to anyone buying on day one. Facebook was going to connect the world. Snap was going to replace social media for a generation. Uber was going to eliminate car ownership. All of those things had some truth in them. None of them made the day one price the right price. The size of the story and the quality of the entry point are two completely separate variables, and the media cycle almost never separates them for you. So where does that leave you if you're genuinely drawn to this company? None of what I just laid out is a reason to write OpenAI off forever. It's a reason not to be in a hurry. Wait for the conversion to complete. When it does, the nonprofit board's determination and the Microsoft renegotiation will be on the record. The uncertainty you are currently being asked to price in will have resolved. Wait for the first earnings report as a public company. That is when you find out whether the revenue growth justifying a $300 billion valuation is continuing or decelerating. Wait for the first lockup expiration. What insiders do on that date is the most informative signal available about whether they believe the IPO price reflects reality. None of this requires you to predict anything. It just requires you not to be in a hurry. The stock will still be there. The price you pay 6 months from now will reflect 6 months of reality instead of 6 months of anticipation. The habit worth taking from this video is not specific to OpenAI. Every major IPO arriving inside a news cycle carries the same structure. A public story designed for excitement, and a document designed for someone else's benefit. The document is always public. It always contains dates. The dates always matter more than the opening price on your screen. That habit works on any deal you'll ever consider. Inside the Wealth Logician's vault, there's a full toolkit for reading IPO filings, the way we just read this one, the conversion checklist, the lockup tracker, the valuation sanity framework. If you want that in your corner before the next deal lands, the link is in the description. The number on your screen today is loud. The calendar is quiet. The number fades. The calendar runs. Pick which one you let make your decision, and I will see you when the next deal lands on the calendar. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Share this video with someone before they spend another year in the wrong fund. And drop a comment below, tell us what expense ratio you found when you checked. We read every single one.